Hello, friends.
Welcome.
Happy Monday. How's it
Yes.
going? It's been a long weekend. I don't know. It just keeps going on.
What day is it? Is anyone else feeling that way?
It is weird. It's weird how the days seem like 10 seconds and a year all at once.
Yes.
So
I saw that meme going around last week of like, this has been the longest week or year. What do you know what I'm talking about?
I do not.
This has been the longest week. I don't know. I'm messing it up now. This has been the longest week that seems like a year or something. I don't know. But
that sounds hilarious.
It was hilarious.
Hilarious.
Anyone else feeling a little cloudy up here on this Monday?
We all need a little beverage.
This week has been a long year. Yes, thank you, Jenna. Last week was the longest year.
If you don't have a Jenna, you need a Jenna.
And Ian's always there to help as well. Thank you.
Yes, welcome to everyone. We're glad to have you here for another week of Coffee with Kim and Jason. We hope this is a bright spot for you. Ian, we've asked everyone who's live right now, what did you do this weekend? Let us know. Ian said he spent it doing jigsaw puzzles and playing video games. Nice and lazy.
Yes, and as Ian noticed, the tent is still up. We were gonna take it down, and the kids convinced us to keep it up.
Well, part of the reason is because we attempted to watch The Goonies last night, and my parenting fail. I have not yet. Kim hasn't even seen that movie, which disgusts me. And so we had to do something about it. However, apparently everyone in the world is on the internet, and we couldn't get the movie to load for more than 10 minutes at a time. So we are watching the second half tonight, and I told the kids that we could keep the fort up while we watch Goonies. So that may be up for a week if we watch 5 minutes at a time. We
totally had that retro, at least I did, as we were attempting to watch the Goonies online or whatever. We were it kept stalling. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot how frustrating this is. This is like totally like what year, of our internet online stuff, right, where all of a sudden to get through a show is like a miracle.
I expected a dial-up sound in the background, like, right, which some of you have no idea what that even is. So I pity you for not knowing that horror. But the weirdest thing for me is I know I messed up. I know I should have gotten into the barber before they all started closing down. And now, I mean, I still think it's manageable. I've been using a lot more product than I normally would, but it's rough. It's rough out there, you guys. So I don't know if anyone else can relate to this. I know there was some memes going around about how people will find out what everyone's true hair color is after this experience. It's just,
Heath said, I thought that was your pet.
Kylo Kristen says, party on, Wayne. Party on.
Totally.
Well, that reminds me of a meme Kim shared with me the other day that I thought you guys would get a laugh out of. Let's see. This one here. Hopefully, yeah, you should be able to see this. This is how we're all going to look after 18 months of cutting our own hair. So,
well, by the way, 18 months. Who wrote that? Like, no.
I don't know. I hope that's not true, but
I would never have written 18 months.
It's relatable. But relatable.
Oh, kind of reminds me of the haircuts we had when we were little, because there were 4 of us, and my mom just kind of went right down the line, and it was pretty much the girl version of the bowl cut.
I could probably trim this without too much trouble. Don't you think?
I can't even look at you.
Oh, I disgust her. Now it's like the Aquaman commercial where he's taking off all
Jim liked it. See, you got some supporters.
Instant haircut. Thanks, Jim. Okay, so let's get on with this today. We want to keep it light, but we also want to give you some things to think about, some stuff to chew on. As I see people in our neighborhood walking along, that's good. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking about this over the weekend, and I don't know how many parents out there are watching. Maybe you have older kids, maybe you have nieces and nephews, maybe you're right in the thick of it right now, but I can relate to this where the kids are getting a little squirrely, a little bit annoying, and you call for a timeout, right? It's just sort of like timeout, separate them, and you do the whole, at least I do, the dad thing of like, you guys need to think about what you've done. right? Think about how you can behave better. Think about how you
Which
can
is
be better.
always the most trivial
Such
thing to
a
say.
ridiculous thing, but you know, you have a
Right.
limited bag
Right.
sometimes. And one of the things that Kim and I talk about a lot is the importance of taking a Sabbath. This idea that is sort of transcends all major world religions. The idea of taking a day out a week to rest and to just be. And one of the arguments I make for it is sort of a warning, is that life has a way of making you rest if you don't take time to do it yourself. Meaning, if you're busy and stressed out all the time, sickness can come in, life can kind of put you right on your back, and it's sort of like a timeout. It's sort of like, okay, you're not taking care of yourself, I'm going to take care of you for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of weird because now we're in the midst of what I feel is sort of like a global or at least a national timeout.
Mm-hmm.
This is our chance to slow down, and I feel like maybe it's because we're supposed to learn something. And I don't just mean as a nation, as a collective, as a society. I think we do have lessons to learn. Hopefully we're learning them. Maybe part of it is like God being like, all right, you guys, quit fighting, just get away from each other for a second. Think about what you've done. But I think it goes a little bit more granular than that. I think that this last week of slowing down, for some people, it's been interesting to see how we react to it differently. Some people are really stir crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are maybe, butting heads with the people that they live with.
Right.
There's frustration. There's a lot of emotion at times. And I think that if you're open to it, you're kind of face to face with some uncomfortable truths. And I think they might be certain things that we need to work on, certain things that maybe we don't like about ourselves, certain things that we need to get better at. And so the challenge that I have for all of us in this time is to examine what is the real lesson for you, right? It could be a lot of things, and it might be a little bit of a lot of things for certain people. So let me give you some examples here. Do you need to appreciate the little things out of a spirit and cultivate more of a spirit of gratitude? Maybe this is an opportunity to realize just how much you've taken for granted some of the boring, mundane things in your life, some of the things that seemed like annoyances a week ago. Maybe it's an opportunity to wake up to how little we're actually in control of things. Perhaps it's a reminder about what's really important in life. Maybe it's a wake-up call that we're too focused on the things of this world. Where are we putting our trust? Where are we putting our security? What else? I know for a lot of people, it's an opportunity to learn how unprepared we are in certain areas in terms of financial matters and supplies and things like that. That's been a hard lesson to learn. Are we preoccupied with petty things? I think about what sorts of things people were bickering about 2 weeks ago on social media and yelling at each other over, and now it all of a sudden seems really dumb and lame. Maybe it's a wake up call that you've neglected your health. In a time like this, having a good immune system is a big plus, is a big advantage. And so that's another thing. Maybe it's a big red flag that you need to work on relationships. There may have been some cracks that have been pointed out this week as we are closer to the people that we love. And I'm saying this, of course, as a professional reminder-er. And a lot of times when I remind people of things, what I'm really doing is reminding myself. So please don't think that I'm pointing the finger at anyone, because I'm pointing the finger at myself as well. And just I think another thing is the lesson of how similar we really are. Like when you see everyone sharing in the fear and uncertainty and the attempts to make things better and brighten people's days, like all across different economic backgrounds and race and gender. And it's pretty cool to see that we're a lot more alike than we are different. So I think that this time is important, and I think it's beyond just some time to watch Netflix or do fun things, which I think is fine and important to be able to pass the time and keep ourselves sane. But I also challenge us to look deep in the mirror of, if I'm in timeout right now, what am I supposed to learn about this? And it's a little doom and gloom maybe to say like, what are we doing wrong here? But I bring it up because I really want a message of hope that the good news is that there's something we can do about it. This is our time. This is our time to be faced with what things we need to work on, and there's an opportunity to do something. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity to maybe repair a relationship, create a new skill, develop a new skill that changes the trajectory of our entire career, our entire life, maybe pivot in a way that changes things for better. Again, whether it's with relationships in our lives, the people we care about, the financial situation we have, the businesses we're trying to run, all of those things. This is the moment. This is a chance to change everything, but we will not take advantage of it if we distract ourselves with frivolous things nonstop. Again, we're watching Goonies. Can't wait to watch Goonies tonight. But amidst it, let's use this for the good that it can be. I've blabbed long enough. Do you have anything to add to this, Kim?
Well, I've been noticing things like this on social media. We took a little tech sabbatical over the weekend, which was very much needed. But, you know, leading up to the weekend, I had seen some examples of this. So, for example, there was a night last week where a friend of mine had put up a picture of her entire family. There's 6 of them on the floor in the living room playing a board game. And she made mention of the fact that, you know, the kids being the ages they are, because they're like high schoolers and, you know, middle schooler, that this rarely happens on a weeknight. And I thought to myself, wow, that's kind of cool, you know, like that's actually really neat. So it's like that, maybe, you know, not necessarily the lesson that like you need more family time, but maybe just savoring this gift of family time that is given to you in a new way, where you're literally not able to leave, and, you know, all the temptations of friend invitations and extracurriculars just are literally not happening. It just gives you a new opportunity.
Yeah.
You know? We've also seen tons of people on walks in our neighborhood. We're still allowed to go outside here in Madison. And it's been so nice just to see people walking their dogs, or just, you know, with their families, whether it's their kids or just couples or just people out running and jogging with their headphones on. It's been pretty neat to see people using this time to get more exercise and fresh air too. Yeah,
for sure. We've got a question here. It was actually written on the side. I pulled it into the question. So Kate says, my introvert friends are loving this, but it's hard for us extroverts. Balance? So that's a perfect example. So yeah, the joke was the idea of being sequestered for, you know, days or weeks at a time is an introvert's dream come true. But I will say this, like, I think for introverts, at least for me, it's been helpful to see like how much I actually value interacting with people and being with people and talking to people, and how important that is. And likewise, I think it's an opportunity for the extroverts, if they take it, to maybe, like I talked about earlier, reflect on some of the lessons, maybe the self-work that they need to work on. So it's sort of like a chance to look at what do we do naturally and where is a chance to improve. So for me, realizing that maybe making more of an outward effort to help people and engage with people, that's been something I've been trying to do in this week so far. And then vice versa, extrovert taking the time to inwardly reflect. And it's not our natural stance, but there's a lot of fruit that can come from that and a lot of insight that can come from that. So thanks for asking that, Kate. I think that's a really good really good point.
Well, this is just an observation from the wife perspective, but Jason had 2 phone calls this last week with people, one-on-one, one with his brother, one with a friend. This never happens, okay?
I don't answer the phone. I let it go to voicemail unless it's Kim or
Jason
I don't
is
know, it's pretty rare.
Jason, being an introvert in an extroverted profession, guards his energy really well, and that requires the phone to be a place that he doesn't usually utilize, right?
Yeah.
Is that a fair way to?
Well, yeah, because
explain
I
that?
prefer email because it allows me to organize my thoughts a little bit better. I can do things on my own time. I'm not really great with spontaneity sometimes. So yeah, but like you said, I've picked up, I've answered the phone more often and have talked longer than I maybe normally would. So, but I see that. I see how important we are to each other in different ways. So that's been a good lesson.
I see a lot of people joking about pivot. I should have brought that video from Friends into this. But actually, I was emailing back and forth this weekend with a former client, and his business completely blew up over the weekend. Well, over last week, I should say. And him and his business partner have literally been pivoting like around the clock to completely transform their offerings to an online platform. And they're hoping to launch it this week. And it's inspiring in a lot of ways. I told Jason, this does not surprise me from this guy, because when we worked with him, you could tell he was resilient. You could tell he was innovative. But these aren't traits that everyone just naturally exudes, right? So it's kind of neat to see people given this opportunity to rise to this moment. Like Jim Cramer, I saw you said you're pivoting. It's like, yeah, where do you go from here? And everything you once knew this year was going to be, what you thought this year was going to be, is often blown up, right? And there is opportunity in that when you get to that point when you're ready to take action, right? So talking to that client was just one of those things where you're like, I am so impressed that he just started, like, and I'm sure he didn't know what the second step was, but he didn't need to. Like, he took one step forward, then the next step appeared, then the next step appeared, right? And that's kind of the route to go with that.
Well, and for those of you who are insider subscribers, hopefully if you had a chance to read my message this week, which was enjoy the woo. And the idea of, are we looking at this as a roller coaster or a runaway train hurtling off a cliff? Like, the feeling is very similar, although I've never been on a runaway train hurling off a cliff, but that feeling of pure terror and madness. But if you think about it, a roller coaster, we know in our head it's going to work out okay, which is what allows us to enjoy it, right? We enjoy the thrill because we know we're not actually going to die, even though it feels like it. And that's the challenge, and it is every single day, like, to look at it as a roller coaster, because we are going to get through this. We are going to win. We are going to come out stronger than ever. There is no doubt about that. The only uncertainty is how long will it take us? And I'm guessing it's going to be a lot less than we think. But we're going to make this. And there's times, and again, it's an everyday choice, because, take a look at the news or get a report here or there. It can throw you right into panic mode, but it's a choice. And when I am fully owning that choice, there's a part of me that is like fired up. Like, I'm so excited about the potential and the opportunity for our business, for our family, for our ways to help people, that when I can trust that we're going to come out okay in the end and let go of any fears that there are, I am fired up. And I think that's the mentality that we need to have. And it is a choice. And it is one that probably has to be made daily, maybe even several times a day.
Right.
But I've said this, I will say this every day if I have to, because I think it needs to be repeated. And it goes back to what I said about what is the lesson? We all have lessons we're learning from this, like as a community, as a society. What is the lesson you need to hear? What is the lesson you're being taught in this moment? And what are you going to do today and this week so that 5 years from now, when you are looking back, you will go, oh my gosh, I can't believe how much my life is different. And that never would have happened if it wasn't for that whole coronavirus thing. Oh, that's how we're referred to it, by the way. Like, remember that whole coronavirus thing? Like, that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're old, we'll be like, I lived through the coronavirus thing. But like, this is the moment. Like, what are you doing now that's going to make you able to say that 5 years from now, maybe even a year from now? Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe. I mean, this whole show that we're doing, we're tinkering, we're learning. I know for a fact that we're going to learn things from this process that will help us in our business later that was not intended when we first started this. We're just trying to be helpers and be a light for people. So that's the exciting thing, is we all have that right now. I wanted to see, there was a thing up here Mona said. She said, we just did a family game night via Google Meet between 4 cities in Michigan and BPK in Florida.
Wow.
Why haven't we done that before? Exactly. It's funny to think of like how we're using tools that we've always had, or maybe didn't know how to use all the way. Right. And this has forced us to do it. Then now we have a lifelong skills. So that's another question. Like, what skill are you working on that you're going to come out of this with? That's going to help you later.
I saw someone talk about an online karaoke party, which how fun is that? I mean, if that's awesome. Even possible, right? So, and then I don't know if you guys have checked out the hashtag Save with Stories. But we were watching all these authors read their own books over the weekend, and it's an awesome charity that's giving money to kids who are in need during this time, who don't have meals or other opportunities. So it's hashtag Save with Stories, I believe. I think so. And we literally watched like Joanna Gaines read her new book and all sorts of stuff. And it looks like new people are adding all the time. Why wasn't that a thing before? Yeah. Right? I mean, that's the thing. And Willie Nelson gave a concert. Why is it like with all of his buddies, like in his living room, all these living room concerts and worship sessions, and it's like, why wasn't this done before?
I don't know, right? Let's hope it keeps going.
Right.
Donna says, my husband and I watched some of your old YouTube videos and gave us a good laugh and break from the daily stress. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Donna. Thank you.
Was Jason's hair kind of like it was at the beginning of this episode in the old one?
It was thicker, less gray for sure. Yeah. All right. So we wanted to share a couple lighthearted things before we get out of here. Again, if anyone has a question, feel free to use the Ask the Question button at the bottom there. Also a reminder, there's also a green button. I think it's green on your end that says get your free copy of A Chance of Awesome. It's a book I wrote last summer that is perfect mindset for what we're going through right now. We're offering the download for free, so take advantage of that if you haven't seen that.
So Jim wondered, what are we drinking? Just coffee, Jim. So
yeah, today we had the quarantine on Friday. Maybe we'll have to rip out something stronger by the end of the week.
Yeah, we'll see. We're just going straight pure coffee on this Monday.
Wanted to share a couple things here. I've got some funny memes and whatnot that people have sent along that, again, trying to keep it light. So you've already seen
Jason's future haircut.
What we're going to look like after 18 months of cutting our own hair. This great one for realtors. Best realtor line of the day. Can you see yourself being quarantined in this house? Like that one. This someone sent me. This is what happens when the Navy works from home.
Oh,
your dad was in the Navy, so we'll have to see if this is accurate. But playing Battleship, and they're quarantined at home. And then the CDC has now mandated hoop skirts for all in order to maintain appropriate 6-foot social distance. Hey. This is genius.
Yes.
So
what color would you pick?
I hear they're manufacturing masks as quickly as they are manufacturing these hoop skirts. I don't know, but I love the color. I think all of us in our family, we should all get different ones.
Very
and go on a walk together. And then this weekend, I was playing around, and I don't know where I got the idea from, but I thought it would be smart and cool to create a coloring sheet based on our Shine On image, which we've been using quite a bit. This is an example of someone posted this. We've been getting a lot of posts of people who have downloaded them and have been sharing their creations. And I love to see this. So we have these little coloring sheets. I'd love to see what you guys do with it. I updated it slightly since yesterday. I put a little, you probably won't be able to see it, but I put a little hashtag shine on art so that if people want to share their creations, that hopefully other people can see them.
Yeah, if you want to look at other people's.
So if you have already done that and taken advantage of that, please let us see it. It's so exciting to see people's different take on it. And there was a family of like 3 or 4 people that showed a picture of them all coloring different ones. So again, if you go to escapeadulthood.com, you will see a little banner at the top that talks about the coronavirus stuff, and you click on that and it'll get you to a page that has all kinds of tools and resources that we have for you, including coloring pages, including the one I just showed you.
And I love the idea. Someone said they were going to color theirs and put them in their windows facing out for everybody walking by. So I think that's a really cool idea on so many levels.
Yes. So another thing I wanted to share, and Kim has been sharing this in Studio Sneak Peeks.
Yes.
I've been working on a little fun experimental painting of Chewbacca, and this weekend I put the finishing touches on it with something a little twist. So I'm going to share that with you. So we've got Chewbacca here, a little oil painting. Let's see if it.
Oh, there we go. Is it grabbing it?
You might need to be closer to us because it's trying to autofocus.
Us and Chewie.
Or we can do this. So we got Chewie here, and I thought putting the little hipster glasses on him would be kind of fun with this theme of seeing with new eyes, that we all need to see with new eyes during this time. Look for the helpers, look for the opportunities. It's really easy to point out the negative side, but what are the opportunities we need to look with? So I don't know what I'm going to do with this. If I'm going to save it for Wonder Night, I thought about auctioning it off. Like, I'm not sure yet, but you gave me the idea of maybe doing a series of these of different characters wearing
So
glasses.
What character would you guys like to see wearing glasses? I actually thought of one like last night, Kermit the Frog.
Ooh, Kermit with
would be really
glasses. I
cute.
like that.
Although, is that little villain in one of the movies? Did he have glasses? The Kermit villain, Constantine or whatever.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
They're like, yeah, I don't know.
I see that. I see my mom is on here, and she's asking if that picture of Chewbacca was me in 6 months, and possible.
Grab the wig. I mean, here's what we gotta do. If you do that, I already thought of this, Linda. You and I, man. No, turn it the other way.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, like this?
Yeah. What is the difference, right? I mean, hold up the painting. I mean, this is yeah.
It's like brothers from another mother.
He was like self-portraiting, and we didn't even realize it.
He looks way more attractive than me. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, brother.
So it's funny that your mom would think of that because we both had that moment. We saw
vision. I wish I had as much hair as Chewbacca. That'd be great.
We have a little friend in the wings here with some show and tell.
Yeah, I'm trying to say, I think that's pretty much all we have. We have a couple minutes here. We don't want to take too much of your time. We want to thank everyone who has joined us live. Thank you for the ideas here. Ooh, Aladdin. Someone wants to see Aladdin.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yoda, Baby Yoda.
Ooh,
Baby Yoda with glasses. That'd be awesome.
Oh,
that's
totally.
good. Marty McFly. Ludo from Labyrinth. Okay.
Ooh,
Thank you. Thank you for those ideas.
So today was Play-Doh, or it continues to be Play-Doh day here in the Koteki house. So Ro wanted to show you, what did you make here for? Noodles. It's kind of like a mac and cheese kind of deal. No? Butter noodle?
A little bit.
Little bit.
What's
this, dude?
This is a caterpillar.
Oh, look at this.
Aww. Can you guys kind of see? I don't know. The focus doesn't really like us today, but you can kind of see.
That's a good
I like the
caterpillar.
colors. Yeah.
That's neat. What do you got, Benjo?
Let's see what Ben got.
This
This
is a
is a
snail.
snail.
Ooh.
Look at this action. That's pretty
Aw.
cool. Oh, look at it. I don't know if you can see. He's got little eyes here.
Aw. You can
Look
kind
at
of
that.
see.
See
Everybody says,
autofocus.
cool, very creative, pretty.
And what's this?
Snowman.
A blue snowman. Wow. That's
Oh,
pretty good, buddy.
neat. It kind of matches your shirt today.
Profile.
Yeah. I know, right?
Oh,
Smell-o-vision.
you need to
Can you guys smell
stock
this?
up on this stuff. This
Mhm.
brings me all the feels and lets me know that everything is going to be okay. Smell that Play-Doh
Thanks,
smell.
guys. Thanks for sharing. And Lucy might have something to share tomorrow. She is teaching herself how to use a loom to make slipper socks. So she's downstairs working on the YouTube on that. So it's kind of neat to see, you know, we've been working and they're kind of doing their thing. And I'm sure you guys are experiencing this too, the ebbs and flows of creativity and downtime, and it's happening here too. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about this later in the week, but the idea of being bored is interesting. It makes me think of my mom saying, like, if you're bored, I'll give you something to do. And then you need to leave the room immediately because her sense of fun is not the same as yours. But it is kind of neat to see how the boredom is bubbling up some pretty cool things in all of us. So keep it up. But again, just as a closing reminder, take advantage of this time for the opportunity that it is. We're all in a little bit of a timeout here. We all have to think about stuff more than maybe we would normally, and don't waste it. Don't waste it. Make it so that you come out of this stronger than before, with a new skill or a better relationship than you had before this coronavirus thing all started. Wishing you guys well. We will get through this. And
she wanted to show. Rose said she's got glasses now, so it's always evolving, right? Thank you, honey. I'm glad you guys joined us today, and we'll be back tomorrow, same time.